Okay, welcome to Devlog number 1. It's gonna be like a joint video. It's like a devlog, my first devlog, my first real one, and also kind of like a little coding session. So we're working on my untitled text game. Um, hold on, make sure. Yeah. Okay. Currently, all it does is run in the terminal. So it's compile it. Start command. Right now, it's just I got this name Aetheria. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not, but anyway, um, I'm testing a few things, and I kind of am not liking the project structure. It also has a website, as you can see, it's an HTML file, which is this is the site I've been kind of building out, some screenshots and information about it, progress and things I want to have for the future. Um, let's go back to the VS Code. So you can see there's a lot going on here, and I'm starting to get a little bit more confused and annoyed with the structure of the project. And I'm not even very far in. I've literally only done like the basic character creation or hero creation when you start the game, and some commands. As you saw, I just ran the start command. Um, the problem is I didn't think about it this way. The game itself just has not started. Okay, I guess I can show what I mean here. So you see here, I run the file, or our main file, and it says enter a command. I didn't. This isn't the game yet, technically. This is just to start the game or run commands. Commands. So this is all it does. It only runs a few things. And once you click start, the game will start. Technically, it's hard to explain, but I think I need to have the game running in this like secondary terminal, if you will. This terminal within a terminal, this command line within the command line. That's what I'm thinking I need to do. Because the moment that the program runs, this isn't the whole program, it's just some things I was testing, but if we do whatever, we're allocating some points, we're going to allocate 2 points into strength. The moment you do something and it stops running the game stops running all of its functions, it's over, and you're back to your normal command line, and command line, and you enter whatever you need to put in. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm thinking I want to run it, the whole game, from within this enter command. And then once you click the start command, specific functions will run, but once that's over, you're back at the command line. So that's what I want to do today. So that's the devlog portion, I guess. So cut that, even though it's going to be on one video. And now the coding session portion. So we're going to have to do a few things. So run it. I'll just show it again. This right here, this command portion here, it comes from this file, the commands file, the command source file. I'm getting warnings about this ASCII art, or ANSI art, or whatever it's called, but we're gonna have to see. So I'm gonna delete this folder because I don't even have anything for saves yet. Let's start from the top, going down. We're gonna have some things to do. Some chapters. The things in chapters we have are the start chapter 1 function, its prototype, and that's it. So technically, as long as we call it chapter 1.h, chapter 1.c, they'll be together. So we're actually just going to take both of those out. I like the organization this way, but we're going to remove them like from that. So there should be nothing else in here. We're going to delete those folders. Countries, same thing. We have the description. So this is actually a terrible file name, but we'll worry about that later. We're going to take these out of that folder, move them into source, and we're going to delete this countries folder. Enemies, same thing. Currently we only have enemies.h, which I was messing around with. Technically I don't need this right now, but we'll remove it out of the there, and then move it here. We have hero with its prototype for creation and stat pool. I'm going to rename the file for stat pool to just to stats. I think the problem I'm also going to have is I've mostly built out the stats thus far for the initial stat allocation. As you can see here, allocation 1, 2, 3, 4 is a value that I've given that you're able to give them for now. What is this? For now, because at the start of any RPG game, you don't get 100 points to put into one portion of your stats. You can't just put 100 points or even sometimes 10 points into dexterity. You get like a couple here and there, depending on your class or whatever. Obviously, these things can change, but right now I'm mostly been focusing on the initial allocation as you're creating your character. So, yeah, let's go ahead and remove all these from here too. Move those into source. Excuse me, I was looking for a mute button. I should probably have one. Actually, I should set up a mute button. I should always have a mute button. Okay, so we delete that. We have our logs file. That's fine. It's not. Excuse me. The logs file doesn't get pushed. We have our utils file, which I'm honestly fine with keeping that. The only thing I'm going to probably change here is now I'm going to have a folder just straight up for prototypes and a folder for source code, right? Source files, I should say. So I just want to have proto types, and then one more for source file. I just call it source like that, and we'll move it here. Okay, that way there's a little still organization. It's just not too much. Okay, so like here we have the chapter 1 prototype, and then its source file. So we'll go ahead and move that into source, and here into prototypes. Honestly, in fact, I could just have one file that just says you know what? Let's do this. Let's create a new file. That's what I can do. We can have one prototype file, I believe. That should be perfectly fine. Yeah, I believe. I know I can. So let's go ahead and move this back out. We'll delete the prototype folder, and we'll make a file just called prototypes.h. Prototypes.h. Okay. And we'll move this into source. All right. And we're gonna do this. My Copilot's been acting funny. This file contains all. Okay. So what we'll do now is take all the prototypes and we'll try to separate them. So actually what I'll do is I'll start with the hero creation prototypes, and we'll separate them with like let's see, Okay. Yeah, I like that. We'll call this section 1 hero creation. Okay. Perfect. Section 2, we'll call it hero. Hold on, my cat's messing with something. She was just in her litter box. It sounded like plastic she was messing with. Her litter box is very hollow, so it sounds like travels, I guess. Okay, so hero stats, we're gonna go ahead and copy all of those. That. This needs to be here. That's your hero creation prototypes. Hero stats, prototypes. Okay. Section number 3, your inventory. No, we don't have inventory yet, so we have stats, enemies. We won't worry about the enemies quite yet. Description, country description. Also, I'm going to rename this file. So we're going to rename these to countries. .c, because it might contain more than just a description. Countries. This is like world lore type shit, you know. So we'll go ahead and put countries prototypes. Top. Okay. We did that, we did creation, enemies. We won't worry about enemies right now. Okay, so that's good. So what we can do now is actually go ahead and delete. Did we do stats? Yeah, we did stats. Okay, so we'll go ahead and delete stat pool, enemies, and creation. No, not enemies. Creation, countries, and stat pool dot whatever. Okay. Good. So now we have our source files. So we also do we? Oh, we need to do chapter 1, right? Okay. Section 4, chapters. Let's call it all chapter prototypes. Subsection 1. Chapter 1 prototypes. There it is. And we'll paste start chapter 1. Okay. Okay. So we can delete that one now too. And I'm sure it's probably not best practice to do it this way, but I feel like since I'm gonna have so many, why not? You know, I can keep it organized with my comments. Okay, so now the source files. Move all these into source. We're also going to rename some like that. Oh no, it's already in source. You know what? That's fine. We'll do it that way. That's fine. Global variables, functions. There's also more prototypes here. But we will leave these as is for now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and change all this. So we're also going to change this to just stats. Stats.c. Rename this to hero underscore creation. No, hero creation.c. Countries.c and chapter 1.c. All right, that works for me. So let's go ahead and fix this now. So we have one file where all these prototypes are going to be at. And even, actually, you know what? Even still, I'm going to change this even more. So let's not even worry about the include yet. Let's figure out how we want to do this. So we want to run everything within its own command line. The moment you hit start, functions run. Okay. The moment you're done, it's back to the command line, and you can run it again. I'll eventually have, like, you can load as after the first initial start. Somehow you can load progress or save progress, and then eventually you can load in that progress. So it all starts. Where is that actually? Commands. So commands.c has been our main thing. What I could do is put all of this in main. We could create the commands here, run them from main. Right, which is kind of what we're doing actually, creating the commands. Actually, so I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that then. This is the part where I'm getting a little confused. So, how does it work now? Or it shouldn't work at all now. It should fucking crash. Should straight up crash, yeah. Alright. We want to run everything from this terminal, this command line that we create. There will be certain commands in the command line. You can enter those anytime, but you can also, it'll run through the game as well. While you do, if you click start, you run through the functions that it has, and then it takes you back to the command line after like a prompt. But then there would be more. Like if you're given an option to run, escape, or fight, should that be a command? And if so, it would have to call back to that function. Who are you fighting? What's your health at that moment? Stuff like that. So that's actually kind of rough. No, that's kind of rough. Let me think about this. Currently, if you click on start, it runs a hero creation function. Start hero creation function, and it runs the set all hero stats function, because this function relies on some information from that function to be set. Once that's done, it returns 0, because that's all we have. Well, actually, no. I believe inside this function, it runs that. What about? Excuse me. There should be more. There should be something else, but I guess maybe not. It's over. That's the end of it. In main, we're doing log message. So main is only running our logger, but no, it's running here too. This is the starting point. So okay, it's starting to come together a little bit. So currently this function here, command line entry, contains all the commands. Start, restart, etc. Do I want to run the game from here completely? Because currently I am able to run start. But I was thinking about this late last night, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. It still kind of does, but I didn't think about how I would make it fucking work. Let's move that into there as well. Prototypes, global variables. We'll go ahead and rename this to globals. I like that better. Globals.h, commands.h. These macros can also just be in utils as well. We don't need a macros folder. Functions are a slightly different story. We'll keep those in there because we're gonna have these. These are the ones that, that's okay. That helps me think a little bit. I made those functions so that way, I guess everything would run from the command line. I think everything would. Everything. So there would be a lot of commands, but there would be conditional ones. So if you're basically in like the initial command, like the initial one, like right now, let's say we hit the start, or we run the program from we compile it, we run it, and then it says enter command. If we just click in the command run and enter, it will probably throw an error like you can't run that command right now. But if we click start, we go through like chapter 1, and then we get the run command becomes available to us at a certain point. And by the run meaning like escape. The escape command becomes available to us, or the fight command becomes available to us at a certain point. Then you can do it. But if not, it throws an error. Now, how the fuck would I do that? We're gonna rename this to command line. Man, this is a tough decision. I'd have to like do so much. I think I would. Where are we starting at? So it starts at the command line function. If you click start or if you enter start, it runs that. So we have to check to see if certain conditions have been met. Then, if they have been met, I think I might need to go even further back and clear up more things, start over basically. If certain conditions have been met, you can have access to certain commands. So like it would just be kind of more nested if-else statements. If input, if the input is um, on this layer, this level here, and we say fight, the program's gonna be like, that's not a valid command. But if further in the story we're on another if-else statement that's a little further nested in, and you say fight, it'll be fine. But if you hit restart, those are also available. So what I actually need to do is make each command its own function. Ooh. Fuck. Hold on. We could have like a root level command line, and then we'd have, a second level command line, which is fight, escape, inventory, whatever, but also has access to the root level command line. I think that's how we can do it. Let's call it that for now. And in main, have access to okay. And now what we'll call this is root command line. Root command line. Like the most base level. And what will happen is we'll have the next one will have access to all this. It'll be the same thing, but it'll have added shit in, added stuff in, and deleted some of the stuff won't be here. So this one won't change, whereas the next one will. Okay, so while we have that logic in my head, let's fix all the includes, run it, and kind of see a little bit more how I can go through this shit. So it's trying to have access to hero creation.c. Creation.c is now just called hero creation.c, and you just got to go back up out of utils. Out of utils and into source. That should be fine. And there it is. Okay. All right. Oh, it's not fine. Never mind. Is it not recognizing that? It knows. There you go. Okay, macros is just, where is the macros file? Oh, macros is just one level up. Okay, global. Why is this not liking that? I have to retype all of these. Okay, hold on. source. Hero creation.c. God damn it. Stop. Fuck. I hate when it does that. Dot source. Why are you not able to fucking find this shit? Hold on. She's like eating metal, like this toy, this little fucking toy with the spring on it that goes back and forth. She's like biting on it, the metal part, not the ball, not the soft part at all. Okay. There's no more. It's just. Like, I don't get why it's doing all this extra shit. Source. Now, why? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Why is it not liking this? Source. Hero creation.c. Yeah. So is it up? I think I've tried that. Well, pathing with Copilot. I'm gonna see something real quick.